YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here, and we're at the Tarantula Coast. You know, I hope it's not like the real name. I hate spiders. I mean, if there was a place called the Tarantula Coast and it was really full of tarantulas, I mean, they might as well just drop an atom bomb on that place and get it over with. In any case, now you all know how I feel about arachnids, which is not good unless they're in my Warhammer game and I'm playing as the Greenskins. But this is not that. We're going to have Lokir Fellheart leading the Dark Elves. He's got a line of Black Ark Corsairs, which I think is nice and befitting a Lokir build, especially if he's on foot. So we got the Black Ark Corsair leading several Black Ark Corsairs. We've got a couple of Harpies, and then a Feral Manticore, a Sorceress of Fire. She's rocking Burning Head, Flaming Sword of Ruin, and Cascading Fire Cloak. And then we've got a couple of Dark Shards behind them, and then there are some Doomfire Warlocks. Now, Doomfire Warlocks are an interesting unit. They're they're kind of a niche unit. You get them in the right situation, they'll do a ton of damage. Now, they are riding with some Dark Riders with shields. They're just a light cavalry that's pretty squishy, but, you know, decent at cleaning up skirmishers and artillery. Whereas the Doomfire Warlocks, if they get into the right target, these guys can cause some real damage. Now, if they get into the wrong target, they can get chewed up real fast, but they also have magical support because they have a Doom Bolt and a Soul Blight, which can basically affect fights for a while. So if these guys get into a nice low armor target, especially if it's an ethereal target, they'll absolutely rip it a new one. They also have some physical resistance, which makes them last a little longer. We're going to see a similar combo on the other side, except this time it's the Regiment of Renowned Slaneesh's Harvesters, which pack even more of a wallop, and instead of having the same spells, they actually have Soul Stealer, which can take hit points out of an enemy and put it into them, and then Word of Pain, which is a more focused debuff. Now, they're playing the Vampire Coast, and the coast is going to be led by Cylostra. She's going to be supported by a Vampire Fleet Captain, Lore of Vampires. Up front, we're going to have a lot of zombie deckhand mob. They're backed up by bombers. Really like that choice. It's pretty effective. And then they're going to have some the Black Spot, which is a gunnery mob with handguns. Out over here on this flank, we got Cylostra camping out with her fellow Ethereals. So she's got the Shade Wraith Gunners. Like, for instance, if that Doomfire Warlock gets into these Shade Wraiths, it is going to really hit some value fast. Zombie Pirate Deckhand Mob with polearms, and then a couple of Carronades and some Syrenes in the very back. So, pretty fun army here. Let's see what I... Oof. Yeah, they got into the guns. The Doomfire Warlock's not trying to get to the Shade Wraiths yet. That really would be a great target for him. Now, let's take a look at Cylostra's magic and see what she's packing for this battle. She's going to have Ghost of the Past, which can summon a Knights Errant. Going to have the Soul of Enthrallment here, which is a slow and debuff. And then she's also going to have Fog of the Damned and Denizens of the Deep, which can summon up a Rotting Promethean. Look at this. Bided their time. And here comes the Doomfire Warlock straight for the moneymaker. And they get it. That Shade Wraith deck gunners is going to get absolutely slaughtered. So this is going to be, look at that, picks up almost a chevron real fast. Here comes the Doom Bolt. Wow, what a play. Let's look on the other side. Over here, the Slaneesh's Harvesters already have 60 kills. They're not just slicing through a pirate mob with handguns, they're slicing right through a polearm. You might wonder how they're doing that. It's their poison. Look how bad it debuffs. I mean, and they have physical resistance, so there's almost nothing that polearm can do to them by the time they get the debuff from the poison. Now, there was a summoned Knights Errant, and it was going straight for the Dark Shards, and a very nice play, but the Dark Elves managed to intercept it with some Harpies and then send in some Dark Riders. I don't think that'll be enough to stop this Knights Errant, so there's going to be some trouble for the Dark Shards back here. The Fire Sorceress must have taken a bunch of shots from the Carronades or something. She is looking pretty weak at this point, and the Syrenes have kind of punched through here and are looking to get at the flanks with the help of the Vampire Fleet Captain. Now, Fellheart is not on a dragon. He's going to be very good against infantry, and in a blob fight in particular, he ought to do very well. So Fellheart will be very, very good. Now, Cylostra is not mounted either. You know, she's fighting on foot as well. She's still over on this flank. She is ethereal, so she'll have quite a bit of resistance to physical. But she'll have her own magical attacks. This is a pretty close fight so far. This is a nice play with those damned Knights Errant. They've got 60 kills. That's huge. Like, you get a summon unit racking up 70 kills plus here. I mean, it's hard for them to not pay off at that point. Almost 80 now. It is 80. Good grief. I was about to say good night, and that's true. These are some good nights. They're gonna get 90 kills plus here. That's obscene. I love it. Well done to the Coast player. Now their Sirens are through here as well. The Sirens are racking up some kills too. Slaaneash's Harvesters finished off all this infantry here, moved over here, killed a cannon, moved over here, and it's going to get another cannon. So Slaaneash's Harvesters absolutely on fire. I don't know what happened. Here's the other Doomfire Warlock. It's gained a chevron and a half with 49 kills before it got knocked out by a summoned unit of Prometheans from Cylostra. I mean, just look at this. Oh, and it bounced out of this fight to get away from those pole arms. Oh, it's going straight into the Sirens. Slaaneash's Harvesters are having a game of it, folks. Now, the Sirens do magic damage, so they will be damaging the Slaaneash's Harvesters quite a lot in return. However, these Sirens are going to take a ton of damage. Remember, the Slaaneash's Harvesters are relying on about a 20% physical resistance. The Sirens are relying on, I think, like a 70 or 80% physical resistance for being an ethereal unit. Yeah, 75%. Still a very close fight right now. The Feral Manticore is doing well. It's into some bombers at the moment. Let's see what's left over here. Some regrouping units for the Dark Elves. Lokir is still in good health. Cylostra is avoiding him, as she should be. Lokir is going to go over here and try and get these mortars. Mortars have not caused a lot of damage to the Dark Elves in terms of kills or value, it doesn't look like. So Lokir is going to get up here and cut these guys up. The Manticore could berserk, and if it does, it's going to be in trouble because there's a lot of deckhand mobs here. Yeah, look at this. This gunner got a bunch of shots right in his face. That's a summoned gunner. See the little aura about them there, but I mean, that's some good damage they did. So the Sirens did manage to outlast Slaaneash's Harvesters, albeit only just, and then they crumbled. That's 183 kills for Slaaneash's Harvesters. They were certainly harvesting some souls today. Some undead souls, I guess. Do they even have? I don't even think they have a soul. But to ask Cylostra, hey Cylostra, if you're raised from the dead, like from the drowned, do you have a soul? Let's see if she's gonna answer. No, she's not interested. Not interested. Such a cool unit. I can't wait to see Game 3. This game already looks good and it's a lot of fun. Alright, so Cylostra's hovering around her polearms for some safety from this Manticore, as she should be. And it's going to be difficult for the Manticore to do much to her as long as she's surrounded. She's probably got another summon of Rotting Prometheans, if I had to take a guess. Here comes Lokir. So the Dark Elves are kind of biding their time, looking to get a surround action here. Probably going to try and get Lokir into combat up against Cylostra. Still take him a long time to kill her. He'll kill her if he gets in there. I mean, unless she does some kind of spell or something. Here comes the first one. This is going to be the Rotting Prometheans that I just alluded to. Yep, sure enough. There they are. So that's going to be big problems for the Dark Elves, and it's probably going to knock out most everything they have left. So that was a clutch summon by Cylostra. She's keeping herself safe and leaving Lokir to clean up the mess. It's going to need an undead mop and bucket crew. Now, the summoned unit won't likely be able to stick around long enough to actually KO Lokir. This Manticore is going to be taking terrible damage, but all the help that he gets from it here is going to be for the better. He's using some kind of ability here that looks like, I can't tell what that is, that cool pink glove, and that definitely looks dark elfy. Slaver. Merciless Slaver, maybe? I don't know. -4 leadership. So Lokir's doing just fine. Like, he's doing just fine. He replenishes as well. I wasn't aware that he did the regenerate. Oh, it's the Helm of the Kraken. So, forget that he has that. So he's replenishing. It's going to be very, very tough to kill. The same with Cylostra. She's going to be very difficult to kill because of her resistance. Yeah, so I mean, they'll probably get rid of the Manticore for the most part here. But it's going to be very... Look at this, how many kills he's gotten in this melee. He was only sitting at like 30, 40 kills earlier. He is getting a crap load of kills against these polearms. It's not a massive surprise. He has a bonus versus infantry, and polearms are a pretty weak unit. Like, they don't have a lot of armor, so he's almost certain to just kind of rip through them. We're going to get a duel here between Cylostra and Lokir. Gonna be singing at him. I love all the noises and stuff she makes going around. Cylostra is a pretty cool character, and I'm really curious to see what CA does with Cathay, since Cathay obviously wouldn't have a whole bunch of lore either, and it might be similar to something like Cylostra. If they do resurrect all the miniatures for the old world too, because of Kislev and Cathay, if they reboot the old world, how cool would it be to see a proper vampire coast with like a Necrofex Colossus and Cylostra? Oh man, that'd be cool. Just be some sweet minis. Like the Manticore coming back in for a little bit of final action here, knocking Cylostra out of combat against Lokir. And even though Cylostra is singing, that doesn't mean the battle's over. I know the old saying, but it's not exactly how it works. She could sing and kill you, and then, you know, it wouldn't be over. I mean, for you it would be. Not so much for her. That Fog of the Damned is a pretty nice debuff here. Debuff will definitely help, but I don't think she can hold on to that debuff for long enough. Such a cool looking debuff too. Get the tentacles off of the skull. Yeah, I mean, Lokir is gonna chop through her. I mean, this is pretty cool that it's gonna come down to just these two in a duel to end the battle. Like, literally comes down to the last two beings. I would say living beings, but you know. This is definitely a battle that Lokir takes home without some kind of outside help from magic. Well, this game is beautiful. Man, again, just get excited for Game 3. It's gonna look fantastic. I hope they fix the blood effects in Game 3 too. I have a mod that's toning down the blood effects here to make them a lot better. The blood effects are actually way overkill in this game, and it looks like everything's just been dipped in ketchup by the end of the battle without the mod, so I think the mod does a pretty good job. Hopefully CA will take care of that. I mean, you definitely want blood in your Warhammer game, right? Especially one that's going to have corn in it. But that said, I mean, you definitely want to make it to where it looks cool, too. Well, anyway, like I said, I'm pretty sure that Lokir's got this one all the way. I'll back out. I'm just going to fast forward because there's not really any magic left at this point. It's just Lokir slowly wearing through the physical resistance of Cylostra, and a very close ending there. It was really quite fun. So appreciate this one being sent in to me by Ferret Knife, and then appreciate BBB Lickin' Lupin. However you say that. Let's take a look at the damage values. See how actually it was 2 mortars and a carronade. I figured it was multiple carronades. I'm just used to seeing carronades. The carronade did good. The mortars not so much. The Shade Wraiths really got knocked out early before they could do anything by that Doomfire Warlock, which did a pretty tremendous job. The Gunners were also controlled very well by the Dark Elves. The Syrenes did some decent work, but I mean, most of the work was going to be coming in from Cylostra, and then just kind of the slow wear down value in the summoned units. It won't show here either. The summoned units did pretty good for Cylostra. If we take a look, Lokir did some really good damage because a lot of that came off of Cylostra. So you got some nice value there. I mean, look at the control of the fire sources. No damage dealt, no kills. I mean, the Vampire Coast absolutely owned the fire sorceress here. So Lupin absolutely putting the stomp down there. And then look at this, 145 kills and still didn't pay for itself technically. So it shows you what happens when you have to fight all those zombies. Look at the value here though on the Doomfire Warlock, very nice. And then the value on Slaaneash's Harvesters, also extremely good. So really cool battle here to see those Doomfire Warlocks get put to such good use because they are a very niche unit, and I think that this is a matchup where they can really come out and shine depending on what the coast brings, and so some really nice play here. Enjoyed this one, as I said, hope you all did too, and I will be back with more battles for you soon. HeirofCarthage signing out for now, and I will see you later.